We're here for StarCraft, okay? We're not here for Zerg. We're Smoge, papi, Smoge. Now, I mean, I'm sure Doc will land on Zerg at some point. When he rolls the dice, he'll get there, he'll get there. For now though, we're jumping into our next series, into our fresh best of 3, and spawning in the top right hand corner of ley lines, we have our blue Protoss player. We have a blue Protoss, not to be confused with the Polish art, it's the other art. It is, for Quasar, art. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran, the brutal Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. Here we go. As we are stepping in. Now again, if you've been watching ByuN as of late, you would know that ByuN, he has been embracing one particular build here in this matchup, and that is of course 3-rack stim. He has been mixing in a little bit of mech and some vulture play every now and then. I'm curious to see how ByuN's TvP has evolved here over the past couple of weeks, and whether he has been able to embrace some more builds and a little bit more of Brood War Terran. We'll see. Again, ByuN has been quite successful so far. Of course, we featured him in the SCL King of the Hill number 2 a couple of days ago, where he popped off and he went on a massive win streak. Speaking of stim timings, speaking of 3-racks, yep, here we go. This should be 3-rack stim out of ByuN. And again, if you've been watching ByuN's games over the past month, then you will know this is all he does. Or I say all he does, it's like 90% of the games. 90% of the games as Brutal Terran, he goes for this stim timing. And I mean, to be fair, it does hit quite hard. We have Arts going for the gas deal. Let's go. Does take the gas. And that will slow ByuN down a little bit here, bearing in mind what we're going for is an early academy into stim, into marine production, into medics. Potentially, I mean, we don't often mix in fire bats, but I guess there's the option here for ByuN if he so chooses. Mainly the marine medic. Marine medic is going to be masked up from our Terran player, moving out across the map with a very strong stim timing. Meanwhile, hello, Art does set up the proxy across the map, opening up 2 gates back at home, and potentially setting up a 3rd gateway as well. Show us what you got. There it is. There's that 3rd gate alongside the Robo. Okay, one base all in out of Art. It's going to be all or nothing with that Robo. He can proxy Immortals here in the face of ByuN. And here comes that Academy. We're still a ways away from stim. Academy has been thrown down. ByuN, if he needs a gas, he can take the gas geyser here at the natural. Marines are building up, but pre-stim, there's a timing. There's a timing available here that Art can abuse, and we'll see if he can upset ByuN. As for now, ByuN, zero scouting out of ByuN. He's now moving out with an SCV, but the scout might just be denied here by the initial units here of Art. ByuN, he sees one adept, he sees a stalker. Oh, that's a tell. Does see the initial 2 gateways. The initial 2 gateway units, I should say. Back at home, he's already got the bunker. Marines are amassing, medics are on the way, stim has begun. And here we go. Art is moving in. Now, with that Immortal, he can focus down the bunker. We'll see how quickly ByuN pulls the boys to repair. We'll see if that can even make a difference. It's gonna be clutch. So the eBay on the way from +1. Medics have arrived. Immortals moving in. As we'd have the 2nd Immortal on the way. Yo, sentries for force fields. Let's go. Alright, he can slice up the army. There we go, does reveal himself. The boys are being pulled. Yeah, it does repair in time. Whew, does repair. Of course, you can always force field to try to zone those SCVs away. 2nd bunker's in production. Now ByuN knows what's going on. Needs those extra bunkers, and stim is done. Gee, stim finishes so quickly. Jesus. It's insane. Stim is already done. He's ready. Is ready for it. Now that stim is complete, can ByuN be broken? With a 2nd bunker finishing, I'm a little bit less convinced. The bunker's not done yet. Nice force fields. Zoning back some of the army. But the bunker does stand strong. Yeah, the repairs are too good. 2nd bunker has completed. And now with 2 bunkers, I'm not too confident in these Immortals, I'll be honest. They just don't have the burst damage that they need. Prism is coming in. Now the Prism can allow, of course, Art to rotate into the main and to avoid those bunkers. There's an SCV on patrol. ByuN, does he notice? Does he notice in time? Yeah, he does. He rotates. ByuN rotate. Oh my god. Prism, calm down, Prism. Prism pulls away. Art, he rotates back down, but the boys are already here repairing. And the longer this goes on, the better it is for ByuN. ByuN building up more medics, more Marines. Here come the first force fields. The first bunker is finally going to go down, but the Marines, they stim in. He stims on forward, going for the Prism, going for the Immortal. And the army gets surrounded, and ByuN, he snowballs out of control. He breaks with the army, takes down the Prism. GG gets called, and ByuN, he will hold. And ByuN takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Just catching up. Stim takes 50 seconds to research in Brood War, 60 in Evo, 100 seconds in SE2. Okay, thankfully I'm not going crazy, but yeah, I did notice it did finish a lot faster than I'm used to. Like I'm used to panning back over after a set amount of time to see like the progression. I like checked to pan over and it was already done. I'm like, oh my god. I was like, it's already complete, Bob. What happened? It's crazy. So GG, well played. ByuN, he does take the initial lead here, does take game 1, does survive, does hold. Again, Art was on a timer. The longer that went on, it would just get worse and worse for our Protoss player. In the end, the all-in fails, and now we're jumping into game number 2. Let's go. Let us go. So we are going to be settling in. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have our blue Protoss player, our blue Protoss representing his new team Quasar. Down in the series now, Brood War Protoss. Let's go. It is Art. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the red Terran player, the SC2 Terran, leading the series 1-0, representing Shopify. It is ByuN. Didn't help that Art spent 75 minerals on a gas steal. I mean, I guess. I don't know if that would have assisted too much when it came to the overall assault. But again, I don't know how familiar Art is with ByuN and with his build, with his 3 racks Marine. I don't know if that really came into play, or that really was a factor when it came to Art's decision to go for the gas steal. I don't know if I would go that far. But here we go, getting into game 2. Getting into game number 2, and we'll see how we do adjust. ByuN, of course, now he's going to be looking comfortable, now being able to embrace his SE2 Terran. This is the other big thing about KungFu Cup, of course, just to reiterate. Here in KungFu Cup, the format is very different. Here we do have instead a different dynamic where players are forced to play one race than the other. In typical StarCraft Evolution, it will be loser's pick, and it is very common to force ByuN to keep playing Brood War Terran, you know, to keep him playing a race that he's less familiar with, a race that he is less comfortable with. But that is not the case here in KungFu Cup. Here, ByuN is able to freely play SC2 Terran without much issue. So that is a concern. It's going to be a concern. Speaking of, let's go. Double gas opener into a faster factory, delayed CC out of ByuN, going more aggressive here. So much more aggressive start out of our Terran player. Here we go. So from here we should be setting up. Likewise, Art across the map is going to be likewise getting to his own opener here. A safety shield, but on the low ground. Getting to his first Dragoon. We do often see Dragoon Reaver play here in this matchup from the side of Protoss. We'll see if Art does mix it up. We have seen a couple of players try to play around with maybe like Stargate-based openers, or even earlier Storms or Charge-based play as well. But for the most part, again, Dragoon into Reaver is what we expect. Likewise, from the side of ByuN, CC on the high ground, it's a very safe opener here. As you mentioned, double gas leads into a later command center. Likewise, getting into a 1-1-1 into mine drop, standard play out of ByuN. Now, this mine drop is designed to scout, and it's going to be important because if you recall, I'd made the assumption like, oh, you know, Dragoon Reaver is what we expect. That is not what we're getting. It's going to be Dragoon into a Citadel of a Dune. So Art is mixing it up. I'm ready. I'm excited. Let's go. Of course, you do need the Citadel for the Temple Archives if we were to open up and try to get into Storm, for example. Otherwise, going into Zealot Legs would make the most sense as kind of like a more gateway composition, a Swarm Toss style, if you will. But now Reaper does dip in, and the Reaper will get a scout, will confirm the tech. Does get eyes on the Citadel. There it is, Zealot Legs are on the way, and now ByuN is aware that he doesn't have to worry about Reaver drops. So a big moment here for ByuN. Does scout, does confirm. Likewise, taking his natural. Here we go. I think ByuN likes YOLO simming without Starport tech. That is true when it comes to when he plays Brood War Terran. If you weren't here for it, if you haven't watched ByuN's Brood War Terran, he is very fond of 3x stim, very fond. He does it almost every single game. We did mention that at the start of the series. That is only the case when it comes to Brood War Terran. When it comes to SC2 Terran, he's a lot more versatile. This is a much more standard TvP build going into his own Cloak Banshee follow-up. Mind drop into the main base, and Art does react in time, does pull away. Does pull away. Mind shot's gonna be going off. Nice connections. He gets one. Ooh, takes down one Dragoon. Art does hold. ByuN does escape with a one Widow Mine. Does pull away. Likewise, behind this, going from Zealot Legs into the Temple Archives, in towards Storm, in towards Archon production. Let's go. Or I guess technically DTs, but there it is. Storm is on the way. So Art is taking up. Meanwhile, ByuN isn't done. The harassment does continue. The Mind Drop coming back in, and the Widow Mine, it looks like it will not get a second shot off. Widow Mine goes down, Medevac as well. A little bit of an overextension here from ByuN. A little bit overzealous. Does lose the Medevac. So overall, I would say a better defense here from Art. But what's important is that ByuN, he got a rescout. And now he knows Storm. He knows that Storm is on the way. He saw everything. Meanwhile, Cloak is finishing up, and ByuN, he will hit that natural. Speaking of Cloak and speaking of Storm, no Robo. The reality here is that as we tech in one direction, that means we lack tech in the other. There is no Observatory, there is no Robo. That means there is no way to deal with this. There's a Forge on the way, but this Banshee has free reign. Yeah, the Banshee has free reign here. Probes are going to be going down, and before we can get into our game, is it over here and now? Again, you do have to jump through hoops to get detection here as Protoss, and now we see one of the downsides of not opening Robo is your lack of detection. And that's zero mining in the main. GG. GG, well played. Zero mining in the main base, zero detection. ByuN will take the series 2-0. GG. GG. And I appreciate that Art was trying something different, and it's not like Banshee openers are standard, or I should say, it's not like they're common, but they're not, I should say, especially in SC2 TvP, like you do expect them at least once in a series, but again, we don't often see that from ByuN in StarCraft Evolution, just because often he's not playing SC2 Terran, but alas, we kind of saw a big kind of weak point there when it comes to trying to skip the Robo, trying to go into Storm-based openers and Storm-based play. Just that, how do you deal with Cloak Banshees? You don't. Unfortunately, you don't. If there was maybe an earlier Forge, or if maybe there was an earlier attempted Scouts, but even then, like, scouting is quite limited for Brood War Protoss, especially in the early game, so GG. GG, well played. Unfortunately, didn't quite get to sink our teeth into the matchup itself. Regardless, congratulations to ByuN. Congratulations. As he will advance on. And we are now getting ready for our semifinals. So these were the quarterfinals matches, and with that, ByuN does advance on to face off against Young Yakov, Dark advanced on to face off against Geralt. So we have 2 more matches ahead of us here in those semis. We do need a moment to set things up. Let's go. But I guess for now we're going to be going on a short break. These are short games. We haven't really been able to sink our teeth into too many of these matches, but these have been short games. We're going to be going on a very short break here, and when we come back, we'll have the semis and then the grand finals. Once again, I'm looking forward to some more back and forths here. I haven't seen much of Young Yakov, I'll be honest. Like, Young Yakov has been on a bit of hiatus. Young Yakov, he has not been very active over the past couple of weeks, but we did cover yesterday during the podcast that Young Yakov did qualify for Star as Zagora, which was crazy. It caught us completely off guard. But Young Yakov, he did perform quite well in that tournament, just out of left field. And if I remember correctly, is Young Yakov a part of the team house? I was meant to ask Milky Cow about this, but they did kind of open up a team house, like a bunch of the CIS players. I think I saw Milky Cow, and was DeWalt a part of it? Am I thinking of like Milky Cow, DeWalt, like Shameless, like GG Machine? It was shown on Twitter. And is Young Yakov a part of that? That would make sense when it comes to his current like spike and skill. If that was happening. Hold on. Milky Cow. I have the technology. Shameless, GG Machine, Young Yakov Art, Asmodi. That's his. Yeah, so Young Yakov, he's a part of the team house. Okay. So yeah, now that suddenly makes a little bit more sense, and I'm excited to see how he looks like, or how he looks in StarCraft Evolution. We're gonna find out. For now, we're gonna be going on a short break, and we'll see you guys shortly after the break. See you soon.